She walked in for a jar of honey. He followed her like a thief. By sunset, she owned everything he thought was his. The late afternoon sun spilled through the glass doors of the small suburban store, painting everything in warm, honey-colored light. The faint jingle of a wind chime whispered each time the door opened, blending with the soft hum of cars passing outside. Inside, the air was still, quiet enough that every footstep seemed to echo. Amara stepped in gracefully, her presence calm yet commanding. She wore a simple beige dress, her hair neatly tied back, and in her hand, a phone she wasn't really using. Her eyes moved slowly over the shelves, rows of neatly stacked jars, boxes, and bottles reflecting the golden glow of the hour. She smiled faintly, as if savoring the serenity of the moment. Behind the counter, Mr. Dalton looked up from his ledger. His gaze sharpened the instant he saw her. He straightened, pretending to tidy a display near the register, but his eyes, curious, guarded, followed her. Every turn she made down an aisle, he made a small adjustment, a shuffle, a glance. Amara noticed. Her smile didn't fade. Instead, she paused beside a shelf of honey, running her fingers lightly along the glass jar, the reflection of Dalton's watchful eyes gleaming faintly from the convex mirror above. The silence grew heavier, sweet and brittle, like glass about to crack. The silence in the store thickened, heavy with something unspoken. Each aisle seemed narrower now, the soft hum of the refrigerator faintly underscoring the quiet tension between two strangers. Amara moved with measured grace, her steps unhurried, her eyes tracing labels she wasn't really reading. She could feel it, the weight of his gaze, subtle but constant, like a shadow clinging to her every motion. Mr. Dalton pretended to busy himself. His hands fussed with cans that were already perfectly aligned, his body inching closer each time she turned a corner. His movements were clumsy in their disguise. A jar clinked too loudly. A shelf rattled under his nervous touch. He wasn't guarding the store. He was guarding his prejudice. Amara paused again by the honey. The golden liquid caught the afternoon light, shimmering like captured sunlight. In the small convex mirror above, she saw him. His reflection tilted just enough to reveal his suspicion. Her spine straightened, but her face remained calm. There was no confrontation, no anger, just a long breath, quiet as a prayer. Then she turned slightly toward the counter, her eyes meeting his for the briefest moment. A small, serene smile curved her lips, one that seemed to say, "I see you." The air near the counter felt heavier than before, as though the stillness itself was waiting for something to happen. Amara approached slowly, the soft click of her heels echoing across the tiled floor. In her hands, she carried a small jar of honey, the same one she had paused on moments earlier. Mr. Dalton straightened as she came closer, his fingers tightening around the edge of the counter. He cleared his throat once, then again, louder this time. "Can I help you with something?" he asked, his voice straining between caution and guilt. "We've had incidents before, so I just need to be sure." The words hung awkwardly in the air, sharp and unnecessary. Amara's eyes lifted to meet his. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to slow. "Incidents?" she repeated softly, the single word wrapped in quiet disbelief. Her tone was calm, disarmingly so. No anger, no accusation, just calm. She placed the jar gently on the counter, paid an exact change, and thanked him with the same soft grace she had entered with. As she walked toward the door, the wind chime rang again, a sound too light for the moment's wait. Dalton exhaled, relieved, but the camera lingered on Amara's face as she stepped into the fading light. Her eyes distant, her expression thoughtful, as if already seeing something far beyond this small store. The evening light poured through the store windows in shades of deep amber, painting the aisles in molten gold. The once quiet shop now stood in an uneasy calm, the same shelves and wind chime waiting, unaware that the day was about to change everything. Mr. Dalton was counting the till when the low hum of an engine broke the silence. He looked up. Outside, a sleek black car came to a smooth stop by the curb, its reflection stretching across the glass. From it stepped Amara, the woman he thought he'd seen the last of. But tonight she looked different, more assured, more radiant. A man in a charcoal suit followed, a leather briefcase in hand. The bell above the door chimed again. Dalton's posture stiffened. Amara. Good evening, Mr. Dalton. I believe you own this location? Dalton, hesitant. Yes, why? The man beside her placed the briefcase on the counter and opened it with a soft click. Inside, neat stacks of contracts and embossed documents gleamed under the orange light. Amara. I'm here to finalize the purchase of your franchise. Dalton blinked, the words striking him like a wave. His throat tightened as realization sank in. The woman he had quietly followed hours ago was now his new employer, the owner of everything he thought was his. Silence fell so thick it felt almost alive. The hum of the refrigerators faded. The ticking clock on the wall seemed to hold its breath. Mr. Dalton stood frozen behind the counter, his hands resting on the edge as if it were the only thing keeping him upright. The confidence, the quiet superiority that once framed his posture, was gone. In its place remained disbelief, and a slow, dawning shame. His mind replayed the afternoon like a cruel echo. The cautious glances, the way he pretended to tidy shelves, the awkward accusation wrapped in polite words. He remembered the look in her eyes, steady, patient, unreadable. And now here she was again, not as a customer, not as a stranger, but as the woman who now owned the very ground beneath his feet. Amara's expression held no triumph, no bitterness, only composure, like still water reflecting the fading sun. She extended her hand toward him. Amara. I believe every business deserves a fresh start, and every person a second chance. Her voice carried warmth, not pity. Dalton's throat tightened. He took her hand hesitantly, his eyes lowering, not from submission but from realization. Her earlier visit had never been about the honey. It had been a test, one he had quietly failed. The evening sun dipped low, spilling its final rays across the storefront windows. Amara stepped outside, the door's gentle chime marking her departure. The air was cooler now, touched by the scent of dusk. As she walked toward the black car waiting by the curb, the light caught her face, soft, golden, serene. She paused for a moment, looking back at the store, her calm smile returning like a quiet benediction before she slipped into the car. The engine purred to life, and as it glided away down the street, the reflection of its polished surface shimmered across the glass door she had just exited. Inside, Mr. Dalton remained where she'd left him, motionless, surrounded by the fading orange glow. On the counter lay the open documents, her signature in elegant ink, Amara Lewis, Regional Director. His eyes lingered on her name, on the fine black letters that seemed to carry more weight than the paper itself. The realization pressed deep, not just about ownership, but about humility, about how wrong he had been. The store was silent once more, save for the distant hum of traffic outside. Some lessons don't come in the form of lectures or anger, the narrator's voice whispered. They arrive quietly through dignity and the power of grace. Respect isn't something you give based on appearances. It's a reflection of your own character. Because the person you judge today might be the one writing your tomorrow.